Okay, cool. Listen, here we are live on Facebook, Metal Cell Forums, with our guest of tonight, John Ard of Siege of Limerick and Bad Reputation. Welcome to the show, John. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Always glad to be on the Metal Cell.
Yeah, much appreciated, man. So how are the anxiety levels? Are they kicking in yet, or are you super organised because it's 35th edition and you're super professional?
I found it a lot harder to get organised this time since I became a dad. That added a whole other
Congratulations
level
again.
Sound for that. But yeah, I'm more anxious than I was, I'd say now. I'm more anxious for this one than I was for any of the other ones for some reason. It's because it's a full normal one with lots more bands than before the Great War. But like, it's actually weird. I've never been this anxious about a gig in a while.
Wow.
So I'm just kind of trying to talk myself through it, do a bit of self-therapy. So yeah, it's all right. Well, we're organised enough. I'm getting a few last minute kind of full capitals emails, but they're all fine. I just found out today that Elder Druid have two bassists. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So,
I could have told you that. Jesus, I thought you were going to say they cancelled. I was going,
no. I actually didn't know they had two bassists, but I know that's sorted. That's all sorted. But that was like the most hilarious thing to get at 5 p.m. You're like, oh, we have two bassists, by the way. I was like,
Yeah, there's no two drummers. That's a dirty one to get last minute now. Like Thumper, I know Thumper have two drummers. That would have been...
that other band from Dublin have two drummers as well. They got Moose. Moose is in the Moose's band.
oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
We're not going to do that live. We're going to guest in the band.
Yeah. And I hope you all enjoyed Danielle's compilation. Fair play to Danielle for that. Much appreciated.
No bother at all.
Yeah,
it was a pleasure to do it.
How hard was it to pick out songs?
It was difficult enough now. There was some of them I was like, I felt like I was betraying the other songs. Especially because like I had to try and think of it from like, just because it's your favourite song doesn't mean it's everybody else's favourite song.
Fuck everyone else. It's all about you, Gordon.
Thanks.
Yeah. And of course, we'll have to rub it in, but Danielle won't be at the Siege this Easter because... is there a late development?
I might go to the Saturday, but I'll only be there for about 2 hours, I'd say, because I'm going to the Munster match and then I'm flying out 6 the next morning, but because of the whole situation with
you're going from Dublin,
yeah, we've got to like leave at got to get the bus at 12 at night. So like the Saturday night at 12 o'clock, Sunday morning. So I'll be leaving the Siege and probably going straight to the bus.
Just get an old booze blanket on and you'll be grand.
Yeah, that's the plan. But Pete has to drive when we get over there. So I'll drink on.
We're going to do some live messenger calls to you, especially for Elder Druid.
And Conjurer and all those. Well, at least I get to see Elder Druid with Conan in a few weeks.
Oh, okay. That's right. Actually, there's another tour coming by. Is that coming to Limerick, John?
Yeah, I just might make sure Danielle can't see it.
Yeah.
You give me your work hours there.
Monday to Friday, 9 to 5.
I was talking to you a few weeks ago, and like there was a real pain in your eyes when you realised you were missing the Conjurer Siege. Like so,
yeah.
And there was a genuine fear that you won't ever see them again in Ireland. And I was like, God, they're not just going to disappear into the vortex.
This is the last one ever, and we're done. Like,
how hard is it, John, to compile this list for Easter Siege? Like, I mean,
we had a backlog of applications that made it quite difficult to be fair about. Look, we're always a bit more fair to Limerick bands because up Limerick, but like, because it's a 25th one, we wanted to balance the fact that we've had so many bands over the years, but maybe one or two new ones. Like there was a few lists going back and forth between Kieran and myself. But like ultimately all the bands, I think bar 4 have played with us before. And of those 4, I'm pretty sure 2 of them have played in other iterations of them. But I find that exciting. I always do that like really late at night when I can't sleep. I will just open a Google Doc and I will just go into the email and literally go go through the whole list and take all the bands down. And there is a certain amount of like bias there. We try to like be eclectic, but I've been approached about having new metal headliners and stuff before, and it's just not sitting with me at all. So we always kind of try and go a certain way with the top of the bill, and we're not going to change that because it's why people come as well, like, you know. But it's fun. It's fun doing the lists. I'm sure certain people feel a bit put out sometimes, but couldn't give a fuck. So yeah, it's great.
Also, there's what Irish bands in particular, John, you're looking forward to that you haven't seen before?
I've actually missed Elder Druid pretty much every time now that they came up. Pretty much every time they've played, it's always been like a cacophony of errors for me, either with like staff and Dolans or stuff like that, where I get called away. So I am looking forward to seeing them. Genuflection are a band I haven't seen. It's kind of bands I haven't seen live that I'm really looking forward to from Ireland. Yeah. Like I'm really excited for a Limerick band called Settler because they're kind of, I suppose, straddling that heavy metal, death metal kind of line. And there isn't many bands doing that in Ireland. So I'm excited to see them too. That's kind of 3 Irish ones that's straight off the bat. But like, you know, the likes of Tombs always put on a good show. I wonder what Alex will get. Sometimes he's a little kitty cat up on stage, and the next times then he's like the coming apocalypse. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, and
when you announce like the second you announce a lineup, that how many messages do you get looking for people being like, "Is there any space for us? Can we play?" Like.
Yeah. I was only thinking about that today. Like if I make the application process too easy, then everyone and their uncle will apply. But like you just need to have a decent level of a status to play it. Like, but yeah, we get loads. Oh, can you put us on that? And I'm like, the whole artwork is up. Everything is up.
But I come in when the work's been done. Like,
yeah, and I don't want to like be kind of, you know, about it, but. Apply for next year at that point. That's probably the best time to apply for next year, because when Kieran and myself are actively thinking about a siege or working on a siege, we're more open to the emails coming in. Like on an August Wednesday, I'm not really thinking about, you know, the siege. But around the siege, if you're applying for the following year, we will consider it. Like, you know, like we'll look into it. Look, we get some applications that I'm never going to consider. I'm sorry now. Like, you know, I'm not here to be hands across America on this podcast, and I'm not here to make friends, like I've said before. But like, it's our love child. Kieran and I had a love child. Yeah, there you go.
So you have two.
So yeah, look, but it's cool. It's cool. The amount of interest we get is deadly. I love it. Yeah.
So, you know, the success of the Siege casts as well, John, what learnings did you get out of that in relation to maybe lighting, recording? Are you going to go down that route maybe with maybe the next? Yeah, we've been approached by external companies for doing this as well. There's some guy in Greece who's interested in making us part of an international series he's doing. But the thing about the live streams is, when you're watching them, they're great. But when you're there, you really do. It almost makes you miss the gigs more. Now, at that time, now gigs are back, and I know we're talking retrospectively, but I remember watching the live stream going, okay, there's no PA in the room because it's going straight through the desk into the internet. But you're like, you're missing that kind of pile of people. And that kind of room atmosphere isn't there now. It was fun. We really enjoyed it. They're stupidly expensive, but the product was worth it for us. But it's not something that I'm incredibly keen on pushing to the max. Kieran is actually a lot more interested in it than I am, but we should document our shows a bit better. Like if I was to give criticism of us, we do take good photos and stuff like that, but I think we need to document a bit better. And to be honest, just celebrating the siege in just generally outside of it, I'm going to try in the next 2 years to have an exhibition of some sort of some of the photography from over it, because there's some amazing shots from over the years that are now just disappeared back into
memories on Facebook, which is not really where they deserve to be. And like to celebrate some of the work of those photographers would be great. I've been talking to another friend of mine about potentially doing a proper documentary on the Siege of Limerick.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
So like we did one that was a college project, and it was good. I really like it, but it's got ridiculously
I watch
high
that every
views.
couple of months, to be honest. Like I genuinely watch that every few months. It's weird. Like when you go back and watch it, it's like, oh, actually, I know that person now. Like, things that you didn't cop watching it one time, you'll cop when you watch it a second time. Like it's great. It's great retrospective of it. Like,
yeah, well, I think it was great and it served its purpose, but it's missing a lot of the beef that probably should be behind it. Like, as in, some people interviewed have nothing to do with the siege. So, look, it was a college project. It was a fantastic college project. We loved it. The people that did it were grateful to them. So,
with the pricing now, John, and we'll say Dolans, obviously, a massive shout out to them. Your partnership with Dolans has been incredible right through the years, and I think loads of metal fans have a huge respect for Dolans because of it as well. Particularly in the way, I suppose, they behave. There's not many fucking gurriers around that cause chaos there, thankfully. But like that, you have a venue that your ticket prices are ridiculously low still. But could you? We'll say, I know there's 2 a year, but could you possibly make one of them and film it?
Yeah, that's you'd probably have to cut down on crowd size for it, but you could, yeah, and that's a good idea in itself. Just to have you been? I'm sure you've all been to like a gig that has been filmed. Have you? Yeah. Like, there's a huge barrier, and there's always this huge crew, so almost you feel like you're an extra on a set. Yeah, and that is the one thing I would try to mitigate if we were doing it, because I don't want people to come in. Like, life is stressful. Let's all agree on that. People come to the siege to forget about the shit that's happening outside. I don't want them to come in and think like they're an extra in Fair City for the day, and they can't make a feck of themselves. And
it'd be weird watering down the siege just to be able to look back at it later. Like,
yeah. Because I think like 50% of the people that come to the siege are coming for the community aspect. Like,
100%.
I make no airs and graces about the fact that, like, we put a lot of effort into the timetable and the bands and the timetabling and stuff like that. But some people just don't care about that. They're literally coming to meet Marty from Monaghan, who they haven't seen in ages, and have a big get together. And cough, like the lads from Brigantia at the one in October didn't see a single band.
Called out.
They were happy about it, but they like got to, like, it was great weather for October. They got to sit out and like chat to people they hadn't seen in a very, very long time and drink fucking stout. So they were delighted. Like, so.
That's always the...
To each their own, whatever. Yeah. Just, people are happy either way. That's the
Please go in and see bands, though. Sweet Lord, don't all stay on the smoking area.
Actually, there's one now you can announce as well. The smoking area is now moved. We've repeatedly seen it in Primordial, and what was the other gig I was at there lately? Oh, Decapitated, where the bouncers are actually telling people, will you please fuck off upstairs and smoke in the proper, cool smoking area. So we'll just... Yeah,
for anyone that wasn't down in October or hasn't been to Dolans since the sieges in 2019, they've massively expanded upstairs, the outside area. So if the weather is good on Sunday, it'll have a Costa del Sol kind of vibe. I'm sure.
Del Siege, like.
Yeah. There was an interesting one, and that's because of this, I suppose, metalers come in all shapes and sizes. But when we were working out the capacity to sell it to, I was like, they were given capacity for like student events. And I said, we need to knock a few, like 30 or 40 off here, like, because it's a lot of very, very big metalers. We need to knock a bit of space here to accommodate them. Plus, I don't want anyone to say that they were absolutely rammed into the place either. So.
What are the staff levels like, John? Give us an idea. Maybe Saturday, obviously, it's lower probably, but Sunday's full on.
So some things have changed over the years. Now we have a production meeting like nearly a month out, and then we have another one kind of 2 weeks out. And they're very important meetings kind of, I suppose, we've had issues over the years happen, and like some people know more about those issues, some of the kind of more serious ones than the minor ones. But like we try and iron out things like where security should be, where all this should be, and from a staffing perspective, it's quite grueling. So I know the Dolans try and run it, they do run it in shifts. But having said that, every single member of staff always says they're the nicest crowd. And I know that's kind of reiterated across this podcast year in, year out, with everything you do. But that there's a kind of a politeness. And my way of explaining that is they get their aggression out through the music. So they've nothing left but kindness when they're at the bar looking for their pint, see if you play. And like that's appreciated. Like there's a load of new staff in Dolans, absolutely loads, and it's their first siege. So I've been secretly terrifying them, all sorts of odd questions about will there be fire and blood and brimstone and all this sort of stuff. And I just told him yes, all of it. Yeah,
absolutely.
And, it's all there.
The fact that not many of us have long hair anymore as well, it's going to be a bit...
Speak for yourself, darling.
Did you see my long hair, lads?
Danielle was nearly late because she was dyeing her hair. Like
a lot of use is going to be over in Italy, for fuck's sake.
I look like I've already been to Italy and gotten sunburned.
So how many sound engineers are going to be involved, John?
There is 5 confirmed. We set up the group chat today for everyone. So that's mainly just been memes so far. But I'm assuming it'll get serious. Tech sheets have gone out now. We got our last tech sheet in there about an hour ago from one band that we're just waiting on, and they sent it on there. There's a lot more flights for this. That's what I'd forgotten about, flights. Flights are the most nerve-inducing thing ever, because like I feel like their mother. I'm like, please remember to check in. Please remember to check in. Just reminding you to remember to check in, kind of stuff. And then the drivers locally. So I've got people coming into Kerry Airport, Shannon Airport, and Dublin. So I'm covering all the airports, and there's not a room to be got in Limerick, so it's actually, it's going to be pretty hopping weekend, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
2 bands have dropped out so far.
Yeah, Dark Matter, Dave bust his leg, so it's not broken. I thought it was initially broken, but apparently he can't put weight in it. And then Molik, that's your first, they just pulled out there yesterday because of COVID. So look, we're not replacing at this late stage. Tombs are going to move to the main stage, and Survivalists are going to finish out the upstairs stage. I think we used to put too many bands on. That was the one thing we changed, and I often felt it was hard for. And when bands say they're deadlining now, I'm like, child, you don't know what deadlining is. Like, as in, go to a festival in Europe, you could be playing at 2:30 in the morning, like, as in they have bands on very late. So Tombs jokingly went, "Oh, we're deadlining." I was like, playing at 11:30 isn't deadlining, lads. That's like really, really good.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Deadlining is going on, which we used to do, putting bands on at 1. So we stopped doing that because you're not really playing to anyone that can hear anything. They're at that
just
stage. It's the incredibly
bodies,
drunk.
That's it. Like,
The incredibly drunk are the only people that are still around listening to music, or like. Most people have migrated to the smoking area then, and they just want to hear like the hits. So that always happens. Yeah. It's the Fibber McGee's / Fred's effect, where they're like, okay, we've heard the original music, now just play us some Metallica so we can be comfortably numb for the next hour.
Don't make me think.
Yeah.
Like,
I definitely want to get to the. Oh, go on. Sorry, Danielle.
There was one year, 10 to 1 Slug were playing at 10 to 1. So for the whole of the siege, we just called them 10 to 1 Slug. And it was it was
very good.
Yeah.
How many? I just want to get to the nitty gritty shit. I love this. Like, how many? You don't have to name names, but it'd be savage if you did. How many bands have played the siege that you're just like will never ever play either Bad Rep or Siege again? Like, who were the bold boys now?
Bands they need to complete the triad to get the whole blacklist. Like there's if they've just pissed me off, there's a way back. If they've just pissed Kieran off, there's a way back. If they've just pissed security off, there's a way back. But if you piss all three of us off, even across multiple sieges, it's done. Like you're never coming back.
Has anyone hit that? We've got probably 2 out of the 3 or just came back at the last second or something, was it?
Yeah, a German band did once. I'm not going to name them. They did once. And like Kieran is stressed on the day. Normally, his stress is kind of peaks on the day. Mine peaks around now. So, it dips then because I have all my work kind of done. But he tries to stay chill, and it was actually, I'm not going to name the German band. You can Google it. I dare you.
Go on.
No. I've narrowed it down, as you can just literally go back and say German bands that I'm
doing it now.
And they managed to annoy me, and then in quick succession Kieran, and then within about 15 minutes Podge, head of security, came up and went, "Who's that fucking gun?" I was like, "Oh."
Gee, it's like they were doing it on purpose in that case. They were like, we haven't had anything in a while. Look, we send out very kind of, and I'm sure people kind of mumble under their breath. We send out a very strict email about what is what it is. Because like the meetings with Dolans are very serious. They're like, here's the issues that happened, and if these happened again, we're done. You know, and you're like, okay, like, so we have to be kind of. We play ball, but that makes them sound like, you know, fairly cranky. They're delighted with the siege. They love having it on. Of course,
But I want to make this podcast slightly more interesting than just being like, everything is awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic, and it's great.
It's going to be a great day.
Yeah, it's going to be a great day. There's going to be soda pop and cheese boards for everyone.
Bean scoots for everyone.
I would be down for a cheese board now, to be fair.
Yeah, a cheese board would be good,
A full stage of cheese boards would be sick. Actually, speaking of stages, I can't wait to see the upstairs stage.
Yeah,
probably one of the last sieges, not the last one, because the upstairs wasn't at the last one. You didn't. That was just the 2 stages.
And that was an oversight. We should have actually done it, but it was kind of felt. Look, we were all really nervous about the last one. I expected
if it was even going on. That was the thing. Yeah.
I just expected some random guy in a high vis vest to show up and start giving out to me about COVID and like shut us down. I expected that for the whole day. But then, like, kind of halfway through, I was like, we could have done the third stage. Now, it was a great number of people at it. But see, the third stage is weird, that upstairs stage, because if you don't have a lot of people in there, it feels like a bingo hall in like County Clare, you know, because it's quite long. But when it's full, like that, the gig you were talking about, 10 to 1 slug, like that gig, Danielle, was like phenomenal. They were so good that night. And there's been a few. Sharborn did a set up there a few years ago. It's still the cover photo on the Limerick Metal community page, but that was special. Like Trench Knife,
Suits there as well.
They did as well, yeah. And that's the same one that Con came up to me after and went, "We've done our time. We've done our time." So they're on the main stage now on Saturday, so that should be fun.
So speaking of which, and a nice segue, we're going to go to Suits there, and we're going to play a short sample of Outer Fringe. And for those in the comment section, if you have any questions for John, be sure to
keep them to yourselves.
Be sure to write them down, and Danielle or Evan will surely spot them anyway. Okay, so this is Suits there, Outer Fringe.
Express the world,
Seconds, lads. Sorry about that. It was nice to see him, actually, Ev. Liam and Con were at the Dead Cult one last Saturday night.
No, it was Paranoid Beast.
Was it the Paranoid Beast one?
Yeah. With Crawling. Naughty boy.
So, do I have 2 strikes left now, Ev?
Yeah, one more.
You need to piss off myself for John now and you're done.
Yeah, done.
That's it.
You're gone from your own podcast.
Mutiny.
Yeah.
One from Dara Byrne there. Did Dolans get insurance for moshing?
Oh, that's going to come up. I might as well discuss it. Dolans were sued a few years ago by an opportunistic asshole.
This was
and it was personal responsibility. If somebody goes into a mosh pit or near a mosh pit, they should realize it's a mosh pit and stuff happens. But this absolute asshat just had greed in their mind, greed being the thing I hate the most in the world, and I've ruined it for a lot of people. We were nearly gone. We nearly wouldn't have had a siege, and I was about to release a statement saying what happened and blah, blah, blah. But thankfully, through the great work of the Dolan staff, we've been able to salvage it. But the caveat is that, like, they have to, and I was furious at the Decapitated gig when one of the bands tried to make light of it. And I was like, you do realise that, like, we nearly didn't have gigs in Ireland? Because can I just point out that there's not many insurance companies for live venues. I think there's 2. I'm pretty sure I could be corrected there, because if you listen to Talk to Joe or any things like that, you will hear insurance is a problem in the world at the moment, and that companies are shutting down left, right and center that deal with the public because they can't afford insurance. And venues are no different. Opportunistic arseholes took their shot, and they got something, but we've won to kind of, I suppose, fight another day. But it has impacted the ability for mosh pits, not moshing. So mosh pits are people like running in circles and doing all that. So there's a few probably metalcore / other bands that will have a problem with that. But anything that's miserable, they don't like that sort of thing anyway. So
I can't help but think back to your man face planting for Decapitated. He came in.
But look, that man took personal responsibility. He got up, had a laugh about it, and walked off. It's people that are like, "Oh, I'm going to go into a mosh pit. Oh, I got hurt." Well, you went into the mosh pit, like. Like I've broken teeth over the years. I've broken my nose. I've broken numerous fingers, and like I remember I came out of the Slayer gig in Dublin. That one that they were playing, and it was Slayer, Lamb of God. I forget who else. Was it In Flames? Maybe it was In Flames. Forget what one. It was one a few years ago. And I remember I like chipped an entire tooth and broken 2 fingers. So I just went, grand, that was great crack. Like, and it was all my own stupidity. Like, it was other people's body parts that were breaking my body, but I went in there knowing what was happening. Like, you know, I stood near it, and look, the blood will boil. We're focusing on the happiness that it is having another siege. Let's just say that person is not welcome in Dolans.
I was just about to say, has he ever, or she? Probably.
Their partner turned up, and I just said it openly to them that they shouldn't be coming because this wasn't right. Like, you know, it just wasn't right.
Okay, question there for Dave Longan. What is the most unexpected thing you found vital to running an event like the Siege?
Oh, God, Dave, with the big questions.
Yeah, cool.
Just ask me what colour my knickers are, please, Dave. Please. What's the most vital thing?
Unexpected.
Unexpected. Okay.
What is the most unexpected thing you found vital to running an event like the Siege? Thanks, Dave.
Can I just, and this is going to sound incredibly Irish, but any siege we've had where it's pissing rain has always been a more difficult one. So I actually hope always, I know that's not what the answer he wants, because I'll do a more technical answer in a minute, but I've actually noted that anyone where it's been pissing rain on that day, it's almost harder to get people into a more positive mood, because the smoking area is like been outside. Well, it's actually all covered now, so that's a little bit better, perhaps. But like stuff like loading in is more miserable in the rain. Everyone knows that. And just generally stuff like that was tougher. Anyone that it's always been sunny, like we're doing the Easter one. Easter ones have a track record of, I'm probably cursing it now, of always having good weather. And generally people have been in a better mood, so you get less arseholery. A vital thing is those. So I think we're one of the only, we meet with as many of the staff in Dolans as we can in advance to talk about it. And Kieran would talk to the staff about it. I think other people that run events come into the venue on the day they've rented the venue and expect that everyone is going to be as excited or on the message as them for the event. But they all they see is this is going to be like hell. And let's call a spade here. A lot of the staff do not like heavy metal or metal related cousins music and all that. So like we'd have those production meetings with including security, staff, catering, everything like that. We would have all those people kind of clued in on what to expect and who they go to if they have an issue, rather than, like sometimes if they're going to the general manager of the bar with a metal related issue, that general manager won't be like, well, I've got my own shit to do. But whether if they know me by name, they can come out to me and solve it. Yeah. Plus, if something goes wrong, like this has happened before where there was a case of mistaken identity and they came up to me and went, do you know this person is on camera? And I went, oh, that's bloody blah. And they went, oh, grand, we were about to throw the wrong person out. And I went, oh, right.
Jesus.
And funnily enough, that wrong person they were about to throw out was Owen Culhan.
You were looking for like.
Now that I've merged two stories together there because the camera one was different, but Owen Culhan nearly got thrown out for a case of mistaken identity at a siege once as well, which was pretty hilarious. It was
actually Kieran they wanted to throw out, was it?
Yeah. Jesus, Kieran has to do some amount of vouching, for lads that I don't know, and he'd be like, I'd go out and get this guy back in and say he's fine. But Podges, they're generally fairly solid. He'll tell you to go off and have a walk. If he just thinks you're throwing a bit of a wobbler.
Like, he knows.
Yeah, and come back, go get something to eat. But generally, none of them come back because they all just fall asleep in their hotel or whatever, like, because they needed to go to bed, Yeah.
Cool. Okay, I'm going to play another band that are playing from Northern Ireland, Sky Pilot. There we go. Keep them questions coming in. They're doing a tour with Blind River, so you got the both of them in.
It's with James.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see James down here. Is he coming? Do you know?
Yeah, he's coming down. Yeah.
Class.
Wagon. He's on tour right now, so I'm sure he'll be as fresh as a daisy when he arrives. So, he's a solid lad. I love lad. Sorry, he's like 20 years my senior, I think.
Is he really? He's one of the older lads.
Thank you, Dad.
Owen Galligan's asking, what's the story with shirts? Are the Sunday shirts only available Sunday, etc.?
Good man. What I'm going to do is what I did for the last 2-day siege is I'm going to keep some shirts just for Sunday because it's desperately unfair if you come in Sunday and they're not there. Yeah. And I'm just going to say to people on Saturday, well, look, I've only got a certain amount for Saturday. Like I have 2 or 3 prints that are, they all have the full weekend lineup on, but there are 2 or 3 prints that I'm just going to have on Sunday, and equally on. I got more than I usually do because I'm just always getting the spittle argument into my ear at the siege about them being sold out as I wipe it away
all the time. Yeah. Always
but I'd rather they sell out than be left with them, so I'm not going to get an extortionate amount. Like somebody told me I should get 1,000, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, actually, that's something that happens at all the sieges. Somebody always tries to market me something. Somebody has something that they tried to market me. The last one, it wasn't actually a siege. I think it was the Runes of Bevis gig. A guy was trying to do a rap for my car. He said, I will do bad reputation rap for your car and make it look metal.
Jesus Christ almighty.
And I was like, my wife loved that. Yeah.
Living it like.
Yeah.
And is that car gone? The one that you had a name for?
Jesus. Oh, yeah, that's the one I had. The older one is gone. Yeah.
The one that you picked up the lads in.
What was the name again on it?
I've had a few different. God, I can't remember. I've got the worst memory since COVID. I'm just going to blame COVID.
Okay. I just thought it was hilarious. You had a name for the fucking car.
I do. Yeah, I think this one's called Nora. So, I know it's not really a cool name. But,
Nora the Metal Mobile.
Sensible name.
Yeah. She's good. She's sensible, and she's not costing me too much money. So
Jane O'Doherty wants to know best siege to date in terms of crack.
For me, it was Tribulation one.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah.
Class.
I love Tribulation. I make no qualms about that. But I kind of got made uncool because when I was up in the band room, Dara from Invictus went, "This is John, your number one fan," and they went, for fuck's sake, don't do that.
Became small John very quick.
I'm standing there like big lanky fucker, like kind of going, "Oh, I like you, all right, yeah," and like not in a sexual way, But that was really good because they were really nice guys, and it was just a really awesome set, and I got to watch the entire set. Which was special. I got to see absolutely nothing. I think I saw 3 Dread Sovereign songs at the last siege. That was it. So, and I was furious with that afterwards. So this time around, I'm going to actually do what everyone else does, and I'm going to have the timetable, and I'm going to tell people to fuck off if they're trying to bother me.
What do you find takes up your time? What would take up most of your time at a siege when you're saying, you didn't get to see any band? Is there anything particular that keeps just coming up that you'd be spending most of your day doing, or is it just a lot of small things all the time?
And the reason I'm looking at my phone there is because I'm about to tell you. So this Sunday, I emailed the bands to ask me what time they're all arriving at, so they could meet me. And they're basically, if I was to do exactly what they're saying, I'll be standing in the same area from 12:30 till 8:30. That night. And then one band said, actually, we won't be there till 9. So I'm like, oh, great. So I'll stand in the same area from 12:30 till 9. So, yeah. And look, it's built up in everyone's head. Every band too, because we've put a lot of time, effort, money, blood, sweat, tears into this years of abuse and happiness. The problem is then when they encounter the humanity behind it is myself and Kieran, and we run on the same oxygen and blood that everyone else does. What? And the same capacity for thought that everyone does. So if you're coming in, we're not going to be. If you're coming in trying to get something solved last minute, we might be trying to solve a few other things. Yeah, I'm running around. I look like the crankiest man on the planet at the siege, but I assure you, I'm happy inside. But it's just it can be a kind of just a rush around. I think the last one I did was 150,000 steps or something. I did something mental.
Jesus Christ!
I've never checked my steps at it.
Yeah, I did a lot. I did something.
That's like
insane.
It's very long.
100,000 for a normal sized person.
That's incredible.
And only 10,000 of those.
Yeah.
And only 10,000 of those was my mid-siege wank, so that was only.
Yeah, you notice the point where you've just relaxed and you're like, it's all good, whatever. Just use whatever amp. I don't care. It's fine.
2 bassists, all good.
Yeah, all good. Have 3. Fuck it,
Yeah, I just can't wait to see. You've seen them with the 2 bassists, Richie? I take it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Oh, is it? Yeah, deadly. That's going to be a new thing. Yeah.
Class.
Set aside time for that. Honestly, don't miss
I will.
that.
I know. I do want to see them. They're one of my bands. Yeah.
Okay, I want to play another song. This is Kieran Coughlin's band, Astralist.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to seeing them, actually. Yeah.
Great. Yeah, really good. Really good.
was a brilliant performance. What gig was that? That's definitely Dead Cult. Which one was it?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
one
we
with
had
Grey
one at Dead
Stag.
Cult with Grey Stag.
Grey
Yeah,
Stag, yeah, that was a
Zora,
brilliant
yeah.
lineup.
It's fucking class.
What else now? This is from Roisin. Is the merch important in developing that sense of metal community?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think it's the envy of other genres of music. I think
Couldn't
everyone
agree
can answer
more.
this one, really.
Yeah.
And any bands that have
Absolutely.
disbanded that have played the Siege you'd like to see again? That's from Aaron O'Neill.
We had Only Fumes and Corpses back. I would really like to get Five Will Die back. And whether they'll come back is the thing. I doubt they will. I think everyone's kind of gone different ways. But outside of that, Herder, but they came back together to do the Siege. And the Wounded Kings. Yeah, the Wounded Kings from a few years ago. Really good doom band if anyone doesn't know them. If you're into kind of really layered, out there hippie-ish doom, that's a good way of describing it. Yeah. But I think on the merch thing, I think Evan and Danielle will be the same. It's like the lifeblood, isn't it? Really,
Very much so. Yeah,
100%.
it's not many other genres of music that rely on it more and have so many people that are actually interested in buying stuff. Like, if I wasn't into metal, I wouldn't have anywhere near as many t-shirts. I don't know how many fucking t-shirts I have, but I have like 3 pairs of pants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you go to other gigs and like Joe, when I was at Fatboy Slim a few weeks ago, like I probably seen 2 people with a Fatboy Slim t-shirt. Well, like it's and probably Evan, you'll be able to talk about this. It's like being able to fund local bands, like merch, is just such a big part of it.
It's huge.
Yeah. But I think that the reason there's such a good conversational vibe at a Siege or just at a metal gigs can often be because you can start a conversation with a randomer if they're wearing a band t-shirt. Even if you don't if you have an opinion on a band or you saw them and something happened, you can start a conversation. Whereas if somebody's just there like in their like Sunday best, you're like nice shoes. But like that's often happened. That's often happened. Like, as in, I started talking to people. One of my best friends before I went to see Nine Inch Nails, I was at a bus stop with him and he was wearing a Skinny Puppy t-shirt. And now he's one of my best friends. This is like, we were literally at a bus stop and I went Skinny Puppy or class. And we just ended up talking the whole way over to see Nine Inch Nails. And now 20 years later, we're still friends. So, there you go.
Yeah, it does make a huge, and you'd see people at the Siege like that kind of conversation. I can't imagine there's a single Siege where at least one of those conversations haven't been sparked up. Do you know what I mean? It's insane how essential it actually is, and it's the kind of thing like where bands need stuff like the Siege, because a lot of people go to the Siege, they might not actually watch many bands, but they will spend the time and look at what's there merch wise. Like it's rare that no one's gonna not sell anything. It's like that's the day that people really, really, really want to support bands.
Yeah, like the merch from doing kind of the merch has been my child, I suppose, since the start. And the bands that have always done well at merch are the ones that have good sizes, including women's sizes. I swear to God, will bands just eventually realize that women exist, and they mightn't want to wear, like, as in, yes, lots of women buy the normal unisex size ones, but some of them don't, and they don't want those ones, and
these are women's sizes.
There you go. There you go.
I wear that to bed myself.
Do you? Lovely.
No.
Yeah, I just think it's important to kind of invest, and the design element and stuff like that. At the last one, Corvona did a specific T-shirt for the Siege, and it's sold. It was after the Siege merch itself, it sold the most units because they had a really nice piece of artwork. It commemorated the day, and people, when they were like when we were sold out, it was smart of them, because when we were sold out, they were like, that says Siege Limerick, I'll have that.
Yeah.
And like they also went, they were good, I saw them, blah, blah, blah. I think they did the best. Like, it's been weird to see what bands do well and what bands don't do well on merch. And it's generally the bands that have like their shit together and they don't just throw the box at us.
Yeah, absolutely. There's one band now, when you were saying about disbanded bands, if it ever managed to happen that Red Enemy played the Siege, I would fucking shit and come at the same time.
They played Bakers. They played way back. They played Bakers.
Oh yeah.
It was way back.
I still feel like it could be on the cards. Like, I really do. Like, they'll never say never to it, but I'd say
they're a band that's got bigger since they broke up. Like, they're a band that has got bigger.
Yeah, people have kind of like gone back, being like, "Oh, this is what they were doing," kind of thing. And
the same with Frustration as well. They've got a lot bigger since they broke up.
Because Nelly's Nilo now, like, he's doing really well with his rap stuff. But like, again, if they came back, both of them doing a Siege would be insane. And I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility either.
No, I don't think so. No.
Okay, I'll go on to another song. Keep those questions coming in. This is Abaddon Incarnate, Rising of the Lights. I never got a chance to see them live. Shout out to Dolan and Steve. They're on at 11 o'clock in the Warehouse stage.
Cool. It'll be nicely toasty by then, Richie.
Oh, yeah. Talking shite. Or maybe not talking shite. I have enough talking.
There's a DJ going to be on the terrace now. That'll be announced. What day is today? Thursday. That'll be announced tomorrow.
Okay.
So Emmett from the Metal Cell is taking up the main part of it.
From the Metal Cell.
Oh shit!
It hasn't been announced yet.
He wishes. Emmett from the Depths is taking up. Okay, Richie, you're now from the Depths. Emmett is. But I'm going to do some on Sunday as well. But I'm not going to be playing any metal. Yeah,
I love that. I'm all for that. Yeah, cheese me
going
up,
to be 4 hours of
I would love that.
I can hear it in my head already. Jesus Christ!
No, we're going to towards the. I might do like half hour or 40 minutes towards the end. I'm talking to him about it at the moment. I haven't DJ'd in a very long time. I used to DJ for years. I did all the metal nights. I did just specifically DJ nights. I had all the equipment. It's all gone to ruin. So it'd be nice to do it again for a little while.
Just do it from Father Ted, they're like, now standing for the national anthem. So was it who is it by again? Someone will say it in the chat, but just have that tune. It's not
the specials.
Specials, yeah. Just have that tune over and over again.
The stages are named after Father Ted things. Only some people have noticed that. If you look at the bylines under the stages, they're all Father Ted related.
The Tunnel of Blood stage, class. The Passion of Saint Tibullus stage, the Holy Stone of Clonricket stage.
Yeah.
John Quill has a question here. You've done a lot with the Siege since the start, Bakers, but is there anything else you would do with it? Is there anything that you've discussed that you'd like to do for something bigger? Or more with it. Do you want the sauce, John? Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, I actually think you just read it really wrong, to be honest. That made full sense to me. Is there anything that you've discussed that you'd like to do something bigger, more with it? I think that actually ties in with Michael Lee's question of chances of a 3-dayer now that you have a few 2-dayers under the belt, like that kind of growing it bigger thing.
Do people, that's the other way you kind of measure things by your own age. Like, I know the lads in their 20s will have a beautiful capacity for 3 days. When I can get 3 days, I'm like, oh, sweet Jesus.
Yeah, I'd be goofed.
Can there be like yoga in the middle of it or something? But yeah, no, I think 3 days is on the cards. It won't be we're going to do a few normal ones, but the next time we hit a special number, we might look at 3 days. it's logistically, it makes it a whole lot worse. I just have to make sure that the next time I do a 3-day that it doesn't coincide with the birth of another child in my life. But it'll be fine. Yeah, all is good and everything is nice. I
could see in your eyes the fear when you said it.
That was black books there now.
Yeah.
I think 3 days, like we want to go back and do something potentially in the castle. It won't be next year. People are saying, it's next year. But we may be doing something big in something bigger than the castle. There's one for you. We might be doing something bigger than the castle.
Wow.
In summer 23. So that's in the works now.
Impressive.
Bigger than the castle in Limerick, or
in Limerick. Yes.
Home of metal.
Yeah.
Oh, he said it.
Right. Let's get
man,
it.
when you said the crawling on your post, you said the crawling in their second home. I went, what the fuck is he?
Nobody picked up on it.
Their second home. I wasn't because I know you support the scum that is Man City. I wasn't giving you the satisfaction of me being publicly. Well, no, I have disappointed with you crawling in their second home. But the crawling say everywhere is their second home. If you watch their tour of vlogs, they're like, we're in our second home.
They're great politics. Okay, here's a track from one band that are definitely from Limerick. It's Tombs.
Woo!
Yort.
Okay, that was Tombs, and they have changed now to, is it the 4:20 slot in the warehouse stage?
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, that's where they're playing.
Deadly.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to see
Nice and
that
handy.
again.
That means Danielle. Oh, you won't be there that Sunday. Sure, you won't be there. Yeah, you'll be.
at all, really. Like,
No.
Yeah.
Savage. That song, One Ton Soup, they've a lyric video for that on YouTube, and I'd highly recommend watching it. It's really entertaining.
They're
it's ridiculous,
entertaining.
like the lads. Like,
Yeah, they're fucking brilliant live.
How many songs do you think it'll be before they're all topless? I'm saying 5 seconds.
Probably if they're in the warehouse.
they'll walk in topless.
Yeah.
Like that's what's happening. Like,
Do you know the upstairs, John, in the warehouse section, will that be open to the public?
Yeah, it's all
Fast.
open. Everything's going to be open. The bar up there isn't opening till I think 6 o'clock, but that will open too.
yeah, probably better off.
Yeah. Like, it's amazing to watch the degree of drunkenness happen throughout the day. And then the people that arrive in drunk is an anomaly I'll never understand. But yeah, cool.
Is there still guys that'll show up at like, say the Sunday of the siege at like 10 o'clock after having cans or something? Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, what?
A big thing to say, which I actually only found out, is they're not open the following day for breakfast. So we'll have to find a second spot. Dolans aren't open on the Monday for breakfast. They used to be a kind of a pilgrimage. They're not doing breakfast anymore. So I'm going to say, where is a good place to go for breakfast in Limerick?
John's house.
The Curragower for breakfast.
The buttery is good, and Stickjacks.
We're not drinking Prosecco now then, Danielle. Jesus, you can pop 2 pints of stout, like, you know.
Yeah.
So will it be open on the Sunday for breakfast? No.
No.
Okay, so no breakfast at all for Dolans. Okay.
We'll only be open at the time of the events. They've changed the way they run things.
That's good to know. Just
now, Jesus, I feel like I'm fucking a flight attendant. There you go.
And you're left, there's no breakfast.
And the merch areas, John, will be located at the back in the warehouse side as well, yeah, or to the left.
It's going to be in the bottom courtyard, which is not a smoking area, between the venues. So we can't, since they extended the balcony out on the top in the main warehouse, we actually can't use that back wall like we used to, because we used to use like a really high double thing.
Yeah, that's right.
We're going to try and figure another way out of doing it. But no, we'll be out in the courtyard, which is heated, and it means I can sneakily watch the football as well. And I don't care if people don't like the fact that I like the football. Do you know what somebody actually said to me
You're not
at
fully
the last
gone.
siege when I was watching the football? They went, "I can't believe you watch football." And I went, right, okay. And they were so disgusted. I don't know whether they thought I just lived in a cave and just ate souls.
For fuck's sake. Right, I'm going to get on to Baylor next, and they are playing. Let me see. At
Late.
12:05.
They're closing the main stage.
Yeah, 12:05 on the Sunday night. Okay, this is strung out. I think they're playing the album from start to finish.
Yeah, they're doing the full thing.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Jesus Christ. That'll be good fun.
Jesus Christ.
Any other questions there for John? Did you spot any? People are on about John's Castle. No.
They're on about breakfast as well. People are out.
I'll cook them all breakfast outside with a fucking two top stove and a gas tank. I'll be like, there, toast sausages, love, is it?
Out the back of a horse box or something.
Yeah.
Jamie Clark from Razor Sharp Death Blizzard. When is the autumn-winter siege?
Autumn, winter. They all fall around the same time. So Easter Sunday and the bank holiday in October, which is the same as the English bank holiday because they're an English band, I do believe.
Yeah,
they are, yes.
They are indeed.
And they, I suppose, were down to play this.
Scottish.
Ah, look, I didn't know that. So, God, they won't ever play now. They'll be like, yeah. No. Sorry, Scottish band. I know it's a big insult. It's a big insult. I do apologize sincerely. He's gone now. He's gone. He's left forever.
I'm not English. He fucking put that straight away.
Evan made the joke about the 400 question gets guest list.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go. 400 questions for guest list. There you go. And we're getting those guest list requests despite of all the jokes. I'm getting them.
Right, Alex from Last Vinci has joined us there, and funnily enough,
sexy people.
This is Last Vinci Glitter Slaughterhouse coming up next.
Awesome.
If it will play. So the Last Vinci play upstairs in the Passion of Saint Tribble stage at 7 o'clock, not to be missed. Really looking forward to seeing them live.
That man really wants to give that other man his banana.
I feel like the Last Vinci are a nice, I'm not saying segue from heavy to heavy, but it's, it's nice to see.
A nice sorbet.
Yeah, nice sorbet. There we go. Yeah.
There's a band. I just got a message from the engineers. One of the engineers is playing. He's making his. Well, no, he's played before, but he's making his proper Siege debut. Lee Marley's one of the principal engineers in Dolans. if not the principal. I'll let him and Kieran argue about that. I think Liam is the head honcho, but Kieran is head honcho for the Siege and he loves it. But he's playing his new band. They changed the name of their band, so I'm a bit annoyed about this because I sent everything to print, all the T-shirts, and the name of their band was Glory Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yay, Glory Hunter. And then I started seeing all this stuff about sweets, and there was like, what the fuck are sweets?
Yeah, I was the same. I couldn't.
It's Mr. Lee Marley, his band. They're now called Sweets, and everyone else loves the new name, bar the metalers. They're like, fucking Sweets. But he's like, it's great. It's very defensive about it in a good way. Looking forward to seeing them as well, because we've got a few new bands in Limerick, but we could really do with a few more.
Why did I think of Michael Jackson's Monkey when you said Sweets?
Yeah. But they go. What made me think of them is they go well with the Last Vinci. That's why they're kind of on around the same time. So
yeah.
There's a thought process into the.
It's not just throw names at a wall and see what sticks.
No. I actually want to say this. The one that I do think the band we started talking about, Owen Gallagher's band, S-Fat. Slug from a Tree. I don't like their band name. I've told him that, but whatever.
Slug from a Tree. I actually think that's a class band name.
Oh, I hate it.
I think that's
I like them. I like their music. I just don't like the band name. And if they have a problem with me not liking it, well, sure, look, write me a postcard.
I hope they actually do and give it to you at the Siege. Please do.
I have to say they're on the Casbah stage and they're really good in that room, and that is literally a personal choice because I've seen them play that room when there's a full room and it's really good. And I went, we haven't had a Siege in a long while. I like the sound of them in that room. They're staying in that room. So any band that ever gives out to us about playing the Casbah, we're like, Jesus, you realise that's Kieran and my favourite.
I love that stage.
I love it. I know it's smaller and you don't get like the thing in the warehouse is magnificent. And yes, playing the warehouse is great. But I love the Casbah. Like I absolutely adore it.
Yeah, but there's that thing as well of like the Casbah, like when there's people in there, and I think like when you're playing the Siege, the Casbah and a lot of the time upstairs, you're gonna have people in there. Like I think people kind of go in because that's where people wander more. I think, but
yeah,
like if you're more guaranteed in my head anyway, like a better crowd at Casbah than if you were like if you're on the main stage, like the warehouse. It's like someone's very specifically going in to watch that, if that makes sense.
They kind of fill up a bit faster. So if you're just kind of wandering around and you stick your head into the Casbah and it's quite full, you're going to go, oh, what's going on in here? Well, it's kind of harder to do that with the warehouse because you wander in and it could be a bit like, oh, it's not very full. Let's see what's going on upstairs or,
Yeah, the Casbah has a local feel about it. So you kind of feel like you're in your local. Anna
McMahon wants to know, John, how do you choose who plays and the time slots they get?
Large brown envelopes. The time slots, I'll answer that first, is like what we're discussing, like stylistically, we try and move around. Like the headline bands that we announce are always going to get the headline slots. A question was said to us about why certain bands are playing later than the headliners, and that's to do with people that are coming from far afield that are just coming down for the day. They're not staying overnight and would need to get home, and you need to run festivals with your headliners like a normal gig, so the bands need to go on at the same time as a normal gig headliner, and that's just to keep people happy. That's literally crowd pleasing, because somebody can come in that is coming in, and there is people just coming down to see the Spirit and just coming down to see Grave Miasma and whatever, that's fine. And they'll come in, they'll see them and leave. But I just don't want to be on a forum going, why were they on at 10 past midnight? I only got home to my wife at 4:30 and blah, blah, blah. And like Metal Ireland is gone. That used to be the pit of it, where they're like, oh, they were on 5 minutes late. And Benton had the car. And, I missed my
devastated.
Devastated. There wasn't enough Satan.
There was no breakfast.
There was no breakfast, and the Satan was severely lacking. But how do we pick them? We go through what the bands that have applied, and we also have a list of bands we like yourselves here, Kieran and myself, would keep an eye on. Now, and I don't think he's a problem in this. I'd keep more of an eye on what's happening nationally, and I do that more helpfully. Now, here's me giving a compliment to you through the metal cell. So I'd be like, oh, I'll listen to that, and I hear this band, blah, blah, blah. They're doing the work for me. Great. And then we'd pick that way. Look, we miss bands. I get reminded we miss bands. Why haven't we played? And if you email us saying why haven't we played, I'm automatically not going to make you play because I'm like, I don't know you fucking anything. Like,
yeah, that's absolutely fair. Yeah.
Just apply and be polite, and like we'll acknowledge if we've missed. Yeah, but like we're not a charity either. We don't owe bands slots. Yeah. And I feel like this is turning down that mean route again. We might have started on, yay, happiness, woo, Siege.
But it makes sense though. It's like, you know, if someone's like, why isn't this band on it? It'd be like, fuck it. Why doesn't every Irish band play every Siege all the fucking time then? Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, we respect bands that put effort into it as well. That like, you know, the social media, that make a like kind of event out of it. Like, because it's not many places in Ireland you can play to 500-600 people. Like, you know, on a Sunday, you know, so it's important that bands make the effort, and we acknowledge the bands that make the effort, and we have them back. And I have no problem bringing bands back that make the effort. Like, there's a reason certain bands play more than other bands. It's because people want them to come back. People come up to us and say they're class. Yeah, I love them. Yeah. And I listen to people that come up talking. I watch the merch that gets sold. I do all that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this band are investing in, like, that's the line I say, invest in yourselves and promoters in Ireland. And I know you've recently become a promoter, Evan, but if you invest in your band, the same level promoters want to invest in you. Like, keep in mind, like, we're the one that's going to lose cash if stuff goes to shit. And we're the one that's liable if stuff goes to shit. So with bands really invest in themselves and not just like, you know, make an effort every now and again, maybe do like a month of an effort and then go, fuck it, it's not working. You know, you're like, no, you're like, stop getting into it for the fact it might be working. You're doing this for you, and this is a representation of the art you want to make. Like, as in, art is important, and if you value your art, you should put your best self forward into it, even if that best self is a nasty fucker. You know, make it the most authentic version of you can.
Yeah,
that's way too profound. That's way too profound. Sorry.
Being aware of the whole fucking slog of everything, like you're saying, where it's not, oh, we tried for a month and this is like, no, man, plan everything, plan really far ahead. Like, have your end of year, you know, be like, right, this is the plan. We want to have X, Y, and Z. I want to have this. Be fucking super prepared, and smaller things will come in the middle, but have maybe 3 or 4 bigger things that you want to do for the year. I always find that easier, that the further I plan ahead, then I can make everything kind of come together that way, like rather than just do it day by day.
Like, in terms of the applications then, John, like, you know, if you have a band, would you kind of have to have some kind of almost verification that they're good live, or do they have to send you on some live material, or would you ever like pick a band just on their, we'll say, studio work?
Yeah, that's actually very good. Jesus, that's good. Yeah, like we've been caught out. We have been caught out by bands that have been really well polished and then have not been able to do it live. And I'm like, how has this happened? And then afterwards, then like Kieran will go, well, that's not live drums on this, and this is not blah, and that's not blah, and we'll be like, right, we just didn't. But we don't have time to do that deep dive into stuff. There's a lot to be said for a well-written email with a good link to like your EPK or electronic press kit, with other links in it. Like, I think every band should do a music video. I know they're not. I think the days of music television is kind of dead and done, but I think it's the best way of fully representing your band to someone like me, who I will listen to the whole album after that. But if you have one single and a video for it, it doesn't have to be the most, like, you're talking about lyric videos that are good. They cost fuck all to make. But like, I will get a representation of your band in 3.5 to 5 minutes that you want, and I will see a visual that you like. I get the idea that will work with this gig. Like, it's less now. The Siege is big, but we're actually getting more support requests. 2022 is probably our biggest year for gigs, but that's because of the folding sandwich effect, because we had like cancellations in 2019, what year? 2020, 2021, and they all folded over. So like we've had an amazing run up of gigs to the Siege, and we've got way more coming up. Like I'm advancing Napalm Death and Mugoa at the moment, Therapy. I've got Stoner next week, so it's kind of, it's never been like, I'm going to be like, I'm doing a Siege this weekend and I'm meeting Brant Bjork next weekend, so that's kind of, it's pretty cool. And what you're getting is bands applying for them, and you see the level of some of the bands that apply, and you're like, this is the level everyone should be applying at. And it's not so much that like, you don't need to spend loads of money on it. It's just putting it, like, maybe spell check your email, make sure the links work. Don't link me to some phone video from your gig in Two Spoon House. Like that. It's simple stuff. Like there is bands that I've literally replied to them and told them that they've been incredibly, like, the email was either incredibly rude or condescending. Like a band, the one I make that joke about, somebody saying that, why haven't we played the Siege yet? And I went, well, why? How do you think that's the way to approach getting to play the Siege? I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I agree with you, Sarah.
Right, we're going to listen to Strangers with Guns next,
and then we'll talk about booze.
So they are playing the Casbah stage, which should be perfect for them. I didn't realise that Ginger actually played the Casbah stage.
Yeah,
Brian
that was a weird
shout
one.
out.
That's insane.
Fucking hell, like, that's
They
mental.
sold it out in the day as well. I never actually put it up that they sold it out. I probably should have, but that was a mad one. And that gig didn't really happen because I couldn't find somebody to do it in Dublin, and I wasn't able to do it. Like, that'll tell you, they're a band now that headline everywhere, and I couldn't find a promoter initially to do it in Dublin. And they were like, well, we need to do Dublin. And I was like, and then I was going to it, but I couldn't with work. And I found somebody eventually. I actually forget. Carl, I think might have been Carl Kavanagh. No, I don't know who it was. It was Carl anyway.
Yeah, it's Kavanagh,
It could have been Carl Kavanagh, right?
Yeah, and they did it. But yeah, they played in the. And look, I knew they were going to be when they played. Even their approach to the gig, I was like, shit, these guys are going to be big. They just had the stadium metal vibe down. Mm-hmm. And I could tell by some of the people that turned up at the gig, it was people that turned up at that gig that never come to gigs. And I'm like, they're like, just these guys are on Clang. And I was like, and I was like, all right. Like, there's one or two lads that came in from parts of Limerick, and I was like, these guys are going to be like at Download next year for sure, because these guys are here. They must know about it.
It's a thing that they're,
Yeah, look, people that go to tribute shows are the same. Like, people at tribute shows, I've stopped trying. Like, there's lovely people that go to tribute shows, but I've stopped trying to convince them that just go to original gigs. I've just stopped. I've even stopped like handing flyers for original gigs because there is like probably a 1% success rate that they're going to turn up.
Yeah.
I remember I had a Guns N' Roses tribute flyer, great band, Abuse Your Illusion, but I had that on the back of a Siege one once. And like, I was handing them going, and then there's this at this side. I think we were running, who was it? It was at the Pantera tribute. And they're like, oh, Jesus, Guns N' Roses are coming back. And I was like, yeah, they are, yeah. Woo!
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay, one more band to play. This is Zora Sin Eater.
Yo!
But to our day,
I'm just thinking as well, a lot of these bands haven't toured some of these albums. Mad.
I can't wait to see Zora again in the warehouse as well. It'll be absolutely massive.
Yeah.
Can I ask you questions?
I didn't want to say it out loud. Can I ask you questions?
Yeah, you can. Of course.
Very trying. No, I like. Look, I'm conscious that I am the guest, so I will be answering it. But I get awfully sick of my own voice as well. So, so I'm going to ask you some questions, and it's now going to be called the Tall Metal John Cast podcast. So, Danielle, what was your first siege?
It's funny that you say that. It was definitely a Five Will Die, because I have a Five Will Die CD. I was 18, so was it 11 years ago? My first siege, yeah.
Was it in Dolans or was it in the one in UL?
It was in Dolans.
Okay.
So I was in evening cert. So I wouldn't have really heard of the siege from Charleville.
Get them young, get them young.
Yeah, and I remember, I never text my dad, but I was
God, that sounded very wrong. I mean, get them young for heavy metal, like to get them into heavy metal. Jesus Christ!
I was wondering if we're like, are we just going to leave it? We're probably
yeah.
Bring it up.
Yeah. Well, no, as in they get to listen to all the other stuff on the radio all the time. I don't think there's that much opportunity for young people to listen to heavy metal live or on radio. So,
I got Ruben in there.
Important.
Ruben's first gig was at the Siege to see 10 Ton Slug.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
he ran out of it afterwards.
Do you remember that then? You remember that first siege experience? You remember it very well. I bet you remember it more, Danielle, than some other of the more recent sieges because it was your first one, yeah?
Yeah, probably. I just remember texting Dad, and I never text my dad. He's not a texter, he's an old dude. And I was like, Dad, I'm after seeing the best drummer I've ever seen in my life, and it was Ben Wanders from Sharborn. I was just
absolute machine.
And I was just like, holy shit. And it was like a whole new world for me, because I was like one of those people that only knew download bands and stuff like that. And I came home and I was like, I can't believe there's this quality of bands in Ireland. I was just blown away. So yeah, it's been amazing ever since. Yeah.
Evan, what has been your favourite siege performance that you have seen at the ones you've been at?
I thought I'd get that. I was frantically fucking thinking there.
Favourite siege performance.
What would answer that? That's a good one. Yeah,
fuck me, it's Richie.
I'm sure you can all answer that if somebody is. I'll just go with a cigarette, even though I don't smoke.
Just start now. I do remember Baylor being unreal. When they played with Conjure last time, I remember that was class. But I think Conjure probably would be the one.
Is the Baylor worn out thing like your West Coast, East Coast, America rap scene? Are you not
it's on the one coast,
Bloods in the Crips.
Yeah, probably.
You should keep that going. It could be a good.
We'll do was it Hashmaker trying to start with the bands as a bit.
Best luck with that.
Yeah. Do something like that.
I'd have to say 10 Ton Slug, in truthful.
Yeah.
They're just perfect for the siege. Oh my God.
They've had some very special ones. The first time they played in the Casbah was, I'd only heard them on record, so I hadn't heard them in that was ridiculous. But they've had some really, really good ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The last time they played was upstairs, wasn't it? No, did they get the main stage at one stage?
They did the main stage. I think they haven't played in a long while. We haven't had them in a while now. And that's good because you kind of whet the appetite a bit more.
Yeah, I'd say probably upstairs was better than the main stage for some reason. I think it was just the atmosphere. It was just jammed up there. Yeah.
What's your favorite toilet to go to the? What's your favorite toilet at the siege? I was about to go for a shit. There could be
the upstairs one off the main bar.
One because people forget about, or the one when you're the main bar you go upstairs. Yeah.
And have you experienced the new toilet in the Casbah? It's hilariously high.
No.
Have you seen it?
The new
No.
toilet in the Casbah.
Take an old trip there now for a break.
I'll just rock into the males one, just being like,
Just
"Hi, guys."
you, Danielle, just tell him you want to see how high the toilet is. in the
Yeah.
Casbah.
Looking up at the toilet like, whoa.
My friend Mickey Lee, when he sits in it, his legs are swinging, like, you know, genuinely, that's how high it is. Yeah. And he told me that. He's going to be annoyed I said that now.
The
one
upstairs
upstairs.
toilet is 10 out of 10.
Oh,
Yeah,
The
I
one
use the
upstairs to the
upstairs one.
women's is the same. It's actually really, really high up, and I've commented on that too. So
There's new
I
bathrooms
wrote
now.
letters.
There's new bathrooms, the new toilets in the smoking area, which people who are familiar with it know, but there's a new bar upstairs as well. It's the Tiki Bar, so that's apparently very popular. I'm literally talking to the converted. I say lots of people have been there already, but if people don't know about the toilets upstairs, they're fine. But it does feel like if you fall against the wall, you'll fall through it. So just be wide of that.
Psychosis there from Jennifer, they were absolutely brilliant. They were upstairs again.
Sure.
That was some fucking performance as well. Mental.
And fair play to Tony. He did that whole, I know he's gone from Psychosis a while, but he did that whole drive to Ukraine thing there recently.
Did he really?
Yeah, he went over with a bus of aid, of supplies and fundraised, and then they brought back refugees. So that's Tony ex Psychosis, but he's a Limerick man. So I'll always look for the old Limerick men, huh?
yeah.
Respect.
Carosa actually in the Casbah stand out to me for the first time I seen him, and I didn't know any of the lads then, and I was just like, holy shit, these guys are really, really good.
Lads, I don't know what that happened to me. I actually, at this very second, I don't fucking remember the siege.
You told me before God Alone was one of your favourites, Evan.
That was brilliant as well. Yeah.
Where I backflipped.
Yeah. That's an iconic picture. Like, that's been used. Yeah.
Yeah, you use that in the thing for the siege camp.
Yeah, we use the siege. Well, it's a great picture. It's been used in lots of stuff. I'd say people have nicked that left, right, and centre because it's pretty cool.
That actually, do you know what? That's the one that I'll put up as my like. And I didn't land on my head, so I don't know how I didn't fucking forget that. Like I got picked up. I got picked up. My body's too destroyed.
Yeah, Brian was up in the mantelpiece for a year gig as well and worn out, and I think the God Alone lads made it up into that mantelpiece as well. Is that now gone from the Casbah, or is it still there?
The mantelpiece there. The pole is gone. So
okay.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
We come in pieces when the lads came in with the the snare line. Like who else? It was Ben. Oh, who else was it when they were playing?
Cormac, Ben, Dale, Halvey. I think that's it. And then
was that upstairs in the Casbah as well?
No, that was in the warehouse.
Oh, okay. I remember seeing them upstairs in the Casbah. They were excellent.
They're always good. They kind of make it feel like you're really at home. Like, you know, that's kind of
fucking hell.
Great.
Dictated. Jesus Christ.
They were class.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I've told that story on here a few times, so I won't. But it's still brilliant. The Dan Flynn shifting the lad in the band. We went up after that gig. We went to Dublin it was the night after was that Carcass gig in where was it? Vicar Street. Remember there was one of the sieges where the Carcass were playing the Bank Holiday Monday in Vicar Street, and we went up to Dublin on the bus. And Dan Flynn's the bag he had brought to Limerick. This is Dan Flynn, former promoter from Dublin, and all he had in it was a pair of Muppets shorts. Now they weren't like underpants; they were shorts and 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. That was his overnight bag for Limerick.
What a legend! They're all starting to come back to me now. Orange Goblin, for fuck's sake, as a headliner, were outstanding as well.
No? Yeah, geez. Yeah.
Sorry, I just got a message there about one of the stories I told. So, Orange Goblin were great. I can talk about that sort of stuff. They were meant to play this one.
Really?
Yeah. It was. Look, it was fine. It was lined up, and then it just didn't work out logistically. So hopefully we'll get them back in the future. They were there was a different vibe of maybe a year ago for this. And but then I've been a big fan of the Spirit for a long while, long time, and I'm sure they don't have a problem we compared to Dissection, but a long time Dissection fan, and then became the Spirit fan. It was actually Fergal and DME that introduced me to the Spirit, and they're just class. I can't wait to see them. It's going to be proper dissection worship, but also good.
John Quill's Nomadics upstairs, October 2015.
Hefty.
Aaron O'Neill, remember seeing Warpath when I was like 16 or 17, unbelievable.
Yeah, they were great. Yeah. Geez, we should get them back.
Yeah, Dave Longan, I'll always remember here. We stand upstairs at my first Siege, absolute chaos.
Appnum are fucking class as well at the Siege. Always.
Yeah.
Always can't wait to see it.
Always so good. So good.
Oh, cool.
I love Dave Longan's face before he goes on. He just always looks so concerned when he's setting up. I'm like, I almost feel like going up just giving him a hug and telling him everything's going to be all right. And then he's fine once they start. But my God, he is the worst, like, I'm really stressed face ever when he's setting up.
So true. And I never thought of it until now. Like,
yeah. He looks like he's like, diffusing a bomb of some sort. Like really riled up. Because I know that because I went up and asked him a question once and he was setting up. And he went, what? And I was like, it's okay. Just asking you where you want the smoke machine.
Smoke? What?
Yeah.
And those that do smoke weed, please smoke it outside in the street. Someone asked there, actually, was it? I think
no,
it might have
you're
been.
seeing nobody.
He said, what was the most illegal thing you've seen at the Siege? Or
illegal thing?
Or,
well, have you ever caught anybody doing anything
illegal activity? Yeah.
The first Siege my now wife was at, she was walking down the road, like she came in after me. She was walking down the road into the venue and she witnessed a lad getting head outside up the road. And, yeah. And like, this is when the Siege started at noon. This is at 10 past midday. And and like he was there in the battle vest, leaning up against the wall with the buckfast. And I was like, I assure you, Limerick is only like this 50% of the time. Yeah, so that was that's been where it's that's like there's been deplorable, like the metal stairs going up to the upstairs. That they should just have a camera on that. Like people cannot use that stairs. Like I don't know what it is. Is it they feel the steps are too wide or they're not? But like just some absolutely hilarious attempts to come down that stairs made every Siege. And then there's the starers. The starers are my personal favorite. So I don't generally drink until the end of the night. And look, people come in for the Siege that may not have seen a woman in a while, right? Let's just, and some of them, and like, look, that's not wrong. There's not wrong with looking, but there's an awful thing wrong with staring. Like if you're standing like this. You're standing like, and you get it. It happens. And like she's actually coming back for the next Siege because she lives in America. But she's coming back. A girl that used to do the march called Pixie. She's going to make one return at the October Siege. Before I had to go up to a guy and actually ask him, could he please stop staring at her? Because she just went to me. It's all good, but that guy over there, could you just say something to him, please? Because I'm sure he's lovely, but he's literally just staring at me. And I was like, oh, how long? He said, I'd say it's about 2 hours now. And I went over to him, and he actually told me, he was like, I'm just playing the long game. And he's like, how long is this game going to be? She's not interested in her. And I said, have you bought a t-shirt? He went, no. And I went back to Pixie and went, what did he actually do? He says, well, he stares at me and then he comes over and asks the price of something and goes, right. Goes back and stares at me. Yeah. Oh my
God.
And for the love of God, can we please not try on every t-shirt? You should know what size you are before you come to the fucking Siege.
Oh, fuck off. People coming out super sweaty being like, can I try double XL or...
Yeah. Oh, the small will fit me. That'll fit me fine. Yeah.
Come back with a
That's
rip
fucking
down
brilliant.
the
The
side.
stairs, fucking
The
hell.
stairs, they exist as well now, yeah. I get annoyed though, even if it comes up the illusion that metalers don't wash, I was like, Jesus, I love washing my hair. I'm not gonna- So, but like, I was like, oh, metalers don't wash. I was like, no, actually, I think it's, all gigs smell. If you put so many people in a fucking room, it's going to smell like, Have you been to fucking, like, like one of those techno nights?
Line.
Yeah, have you been to Codeline?
Fucking hell.
So no staring, please. You can stare for a while, but don't be a stare bear.
There's a limit.
Everyone's just going to stare at you specifically.
That happens too, yeah. And I just get awkward then because I'm like, generally I look cranky. So I'm like, I should just wear a sign saying I'm not actually cranky. Yeah.
But don't talk to me.
Yeah, don't talk to me. Don't ask me, can your band play the next one? Because I'm not going to remember.
Do you get? Yeah, I'd say you do get a few requests while at the siege in the middle of like, being stressed and doing stuff. Someone's coming up being like, I don't know if you heard of my band, Pussy Twizzlers, but we're really good. So can we play tomorrow? Do you have space tomorrow? Like,
We've had other genres try and do it. Bands from other genres try to convince me. And on the face of things, like I do all the admin and everything and do all the organising and work with the artists and the posters and all that. But I'll never forget this person that approached us. They were about a hip hop act. And I was really polite in my reply. It was actually the siege. I think it was the loadout day of the siege. We were sitting down and I was having a pint and they were like, putting their case. No, sorry. It was actually the night of the siege. Everyone had left. So it was just the crew and me. And they were putting the argument to me. And Kieran now at this point was clocked off. So it was pints galore and magic cigarettes galore. And he was, I went, just ask Kieran there what he thinks. And he just went, it was brilliant. He kind of just leaned in and went, no. And I was like, oh, I was trying to leave them down gently because they're their friends. But yeah. Look,
I could hear him doing that.
Yeah. Because he does sound for all these people. He's like, who is it? Who is it? And he went, no. There's not near a man there. Like anytime, like he doesn't mind doing, but he does not like hip hop music, and that's nothing like everyone does stuff like. But he's like, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. But look, that man likes his notes. He's probably going to hate me now because I know he's listed. He's like, you're representing me terribly. Kieran is a lovely man, fantastic sound engineer, fantastic recording artist.
He's actually currently in a meeting with staff in Dolans. So
he is, yeah.
And then he has practice at 8 or something, I think.
And that band is pretty brilliant because I don't know if Ben can play guitar. Sorry, I'm right. Every single member of that band can play every other instrument in Sharborn. Jesus. And I think it's the same in Weekum and Pieces. I'm not too sure about Hayes' ability to play guitar. I think he can. Somebody will probably comment there. But it's a bit mad because that's very rare. They can all play each other's instruments and stuff like that, which is cool, Ooh.
Ooh wee.
Yeah. You won't hear that worn out, huh?
Well, I can play all the different instruments.
How are you finding Dead Cult going now? A few weeks in for you,
yeah,
darling.
I'm not at the level that you're at, Daddy, but
Whoa.
And you never will be.
Yeah, it's great so far. I think there's a lot of support for it and stuff, and
that's deadly, man. Yeah.
Like I've stuff that I'll be announcing soon. That's it's not just, it's not even a gig, but it's just another thing that I feel will help bands with regards to stuff that we were talking about earlier as well. But
free money.
Yeah, I'm just fucking not paying rent next month. I'm giving
That's
it to
cool, man. No, that's deadly.
Just don't tell me because I'll blab it, okay?
Yeah, I actually haven't told you this.
Yeah, that's good. That's why I'm telling you.
I'm afraid to tell you stuff now because you just give it away on the podcast.
I can't get into the chat for some reason. So if anyone has,
people are just saying
we're keeping you informed. But
people are snapping about your hair and making they're saying you've horrible eyes, you're staring a lot.
Yeah. I try to learn the staring from me, so like I'm just staring into the abyss, so it's all right. Waiting for it to swallow me whole.
Is today the day?
Yeah. Look, it's like, do you meet absolute characters at it that haven't maybe socialised in a while? And I think that's going to be the last siege in particular. You could see the social anxiety on some people, and it's great to see that melt away after a while. So yeah, look, long may that last, but no staring, please.
Yeah. So 25th edition, like, that's nuts, isn't it, when you think of it? Look, it's some achievement.
Yeah.
Sold out as well.
Crazy. Sold out. I was watching. It was down to one ticket for for nearly 18 hours, and I was like, "For sweet Jesus!" I was going to buy it myself. Yeah. And then straight away, somebody went, "I'm looking for a weekend ticket," and I'm like, "You fucking? Are you serious?" Yeah. I don't look. It's a phenomenon here for sure that Ireland and tickets. Like, you've all been to gigs abroad. People. Maybe not so much in England, but in Europe, when you say, "Oh, I'm just going to wait to buy tickets in the door," they're like, "What?
What? Yeah.
Why would you take the risk?" And they're like, "Oh, yeah, well, you know." Like, no.
I'm going to see 10:07 tomorrow in the Roundy, and it's like on the thing, it's like, "Oh, tickets available through this link or on the door," and I'm just like, I'm not going in there and then not get it. Yeah, hello, I see you. And then not getting it if it because it's always like the day of or the day before, that's when you'll have a massive burst of tickets. And I'm like, I'm not showing up. I'm not risking it anymore. I will just buy a ticket the second I get a chance. Like, more people do it because it's just, I think it's handier. Like,
Evan, I thought that fucking cat was on the bed. I was just
it's kind of like there's a giant cat.
Jesus Christ, the size of that cat.
She's one eye. Her name is Beamish.
Oh, deadly.
Speaking of which, we'll be drinking plenty bit up there for the weekend. I'm coming up Saturday and Sunday, so...
Awesome. Are you going to be there Saturday, Richie?
Yeah,
I'll be there for the whole thing as well.
Deadly, yeah.
So Saturday will be just kind of, hopefully, with a bit of sense, taking it easy and just relaxing, whereas Sunday will be full-on carnage, I think.
You'll be a bit...
Not hope, yeah. It's like the Thursday of like any festival. You're like, I'm going to take it easy now.
Oh, you'll ruin the next day on yourself.
The second you see everyone, you're just going to be swallowing the points. Like,
I'm starting to get to know Richie's stage of drunk, so it's getting, because he's been up, and I saw he's full level at was it Primordial? I don't know which one it was. It was Primordial.
Primordial. We started drinking at fucking 4:00.
Yeah. The utter panic in your eyes at one point. I was like, he doesn't know where he is, let alone.
I was trying to get
doors are at 4, aren't they, for Saturday? Is it 4?
4, yeah. So warehouse, practical flight attendant here again. Warehouse entrance on Saturday, and I think not warehouse. I think the main bar entrance on Sunday. And they're doing different color wristbands for the whole thing. So yeah, everyone gets a different color. And a big shout out to Evan for giving us a hand at the siege. We've lost a few people to COVID and just lost people because it's been a long while. So Evan and Brian have stepped in to help and will now be inducted into the Siege Hall of Fame.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Congratulations. What are you up to?
Sabotage you.
Well, they'll be just supplied with drink and they will be helping bands check in, I suppose is the way to put it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So if anyone gives me guff, I'm going to break
Yeah.
Did you get your accommodation sorted, Evan?
Yeah, all sorted. Great. I have Saturday, and then we got graciously sorted out by John because he's a good man.
He's getting a lovely hotel room on Sunday night.
Jesus.
Ian Brian.
Man, it was impossible to get hotels in Limerick. We booked them very early. It's ridiculous. It's the main thing. And I don't know why. Well, there's a Munster match on. Thanks, Danielle. Yeah. God, why did you put on the Munster match?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a hotel that just closed? It just everything cancelled. The pier, was that it?
Survivalists got cut out with that. I'm presuming
So did
it was-
Liam from Soothsayer. They got goosed with it as well.
They said it was
Absolutely.
wrecked over some weekend, that there was a stag or something there and they wrecked at the hotel. So
Oh, Jesus, are you serious? I didn't know this. So it's closed.
Yeah, I
Apparently
think
so.
so. Yeah, everything cancelled. Nothing.
Oh, that's rough.
That's bad. Jesus.
Was
God.
it only weeks ago or something? Was it?
yeah, it was only 2. When did we even interview Survivalists? They told me after that interview. So that was around 2 weeks ago.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh, no.
yeah.
I didn't know that. And that would be one of the more popular ones as well because it's like walkable and stuff.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
You're looking at, like, say for 2 people, it's like 300 and something for the Mulligan, I think.
It's because it's not like I like to be. I'm not arrogant enough yet to say it's because of the Munster match. Literally, the prices go up when there's a Munster match because those people have money and
Yeah.
I don't.
yeah.
Dave Langan just said here, is there a particular reason for the slightly later start for Siege this year?
Everyone's too
Yeah,
drunk.
well, we're the 12 o'clock one put a lot of pressure on crew and bands in general traveling, and we were putting unnecessary. Like we were trying to make the thing more streamlined and easier, and not take years off our lives. And when you start really early in the day, you've less chance to fix problems. And problems always happened at like 11:45 a.m. before we doors at 12. Well, like there is a chance that if we, like it's been talked about going back again, but everyone seems to be happy from a crew perspective. Like the crew, if the crew get angry, everything starts falling apart. So trying to keep them happy is as important as keeping the bands happy, because they're dealing with the bands directly. Like as in, I may talk to the bands once or maybe twice, but the sound engineer in your stage is going to be your point of contact for your entire thing. And I don't want them burnt out because, bad band before them were arseholes or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, look, yeah, I've kind of gone around in a circle there. La, 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 boop, de boo, bing, bing.
No, is that it? Shall we?
Please don't let it finish on la,
Go
la,
on,
la, la,
Paddy,
la,
Paddy,
boop, boop,
Bad,
bing,
la, la,
bing.
la, la.
Recording has stopped.
Yeah. I know this is really enjoyable. Thank you for having me, and for anyone that suffered the entire thing, I'm sorry.
No, it's a great chance. Some of the questions were very interesting as well. And
Have we missed any questions? Who was the 4,000 comment?
Dara Byrne.
Dara Byrne is an absolute legend. He already has his tickets. But Dara Byrne,
Yes.
you have what number of comment is he?
400. Yeah.
But is he the fourth one?
Oh, fuck.
You
I was
picked Dara Byrne.
answering, yeah.
I picked Dara.
Dara Byrne, you have won a pint. Congratulations. I'm going to buy you a pint. There you go. Woo. He'll definitely hold me to that as well. He will 100% hold me.
And he fucking
And so he
writes
should.
too as well.
Yeah, which is good. I want to be held for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my last question is, what are you drinking on besides soda pop? What is your beverage of choice for Siege to keep you going?
Me?
You're going to say Guinness Zero now because you've found Jesus or something. Richie, do you stay with the stout or the beer or what do you do?
My start will be a bowl of chowder and either
Strawberry
a
daiquiri.
Murphy's or a Beamish, and work my way along that way until I just kind of
Fall over.
that's the Saturday.
Yeah.
The Sunday could be different. I could go on lager Sunday because, as I said, Sunday's just going to be carnage, and I want to be fucked up. So Guinness Saturday, or the black stuff Saturday, and lager on the Sunday.
Very nice.
Misery on a Monday. Cool.
Night shift Monday night. Yeah, baby.
Oh, I don't know how you're doing that, man.
Yeah, fucking right.
Scott can't
Always-
wait to know if he can bring his mum to the Siege.
His mom. I love it. I'd love it.
Plenty of
yeah.
stairs.
You see, I know things about Scott Kemp
Tuborg.
Would Scott couldn't bring his map to the siege? I don't know.
You never know. It's Scott, like.
Scott, I was on Scott Kemp's stag there a few weeks ago, and I just finished on this because this is absolutely brilliant.
Okay.
Yeah.
He ordered a vodka and at it, and instead they gave him a Pernod and Iron Brew. There you go.
Oh, fucking hell.
What a combination.
Where was that, John? That had to be Scotland, was it?
Like,
That was in Prague. We were in a bar called Paddy's Irish Pub, and it looked like it was run by the Turkish mafia or something like that, because it was a very uncomfortable experience. Like, I was like, they literally watched. Paddy's Irish Pub is the one from It's Always Sunny, isn't it?
yeah.
I was like, did they just go, right, we're just going to call it Paddy's Irish Pub?
Yeah. I'd say there's a lot of them called that now, to be fair.
Yeah, it was shocking. All they did was paint the wall green and not serve us the right drinks. This is nothing to do with the siege. I'm very sorry.
But this is what people want. This is all they want.
They want the juicy tea.
Yeah, that's it.
They want to hear about Scott getting Pernod and Iron Brew.
Well, they want to come up with
Iron Brew. Jesus.
So at the siege, if you see Scott, anyone that knows him, you have to buy him a Pernod.
Yeah,
They won't have Iron Brew. Just get him a Pernod and red lemonade. He loves it. He absolutely loves it.
And then give it to him and stare at him and ask him how much it was. Like,
Yeah.
Tuborg chasers from Jennifer. Oh no, thanks, Jennifer.
Tuborg is the job. Not wrong. We used to be Bavaria, and then we transitioned to Tuborg.
Yeah.
What's the story with the cheese boards? So
the cheese boards are going to be at 2:30 and 5:30.
Okay, go on.
If you come and find me, we'll do cheese boards.
You know right well I will be.
Because you'll be fucking stone cold sober, so I'll be like, shit, he's on me.
Well, so will you at that time, so it'll be grand, like.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Yeah. I apologize in advance.
4 kilos.
Fuck me.
I think I might just do a live podcast myself with Richie at 9:30 at night on Sunday for the siege. So I can get him to spill the absolute tea on everything.
The show will be cancelled, man.
Do it from
It'd be worse than Will Smith's smack.
Like, that'd be brilliant. In both of you sitting on the jacks, the really tall jacks.
I guarantee you that's going to have a queue to see that now, because it is. People are familiar with it. It's pretty impressive.
I'm going to look at,
Pictures of it like fucking everywhere. Jesus Christ.
It's the first thing I'm going to go sprint in the door. Where's that jack?
Sitting it like a throne.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's so tall.
Yeah. There's always somebody that falls asleep in the jacks too, so we should start placing bets on that.
Or for time slots, pick it. All right, okay.
Yeah, has actually people woke up in there like and been locked in or anything like that? Ain't mad like that, no?
I know 2 people firsthand that have nearly got locked in. I looked at the pod just fairly on the ball, getting people out. But like, you could challenge yourself and try and get locked in, but you'd probably have a very miserable time in the dark.
It wouldn't be great.
Like, woo, siege! Everyone is delighted.
I told you I could do it.
Yeah.
Closed Monday.
When it was like the free ones, we've had people show up at like 1 a.m. going, "Oh, I'm delighted to be here," and I'm like, "We're finished in like a half an hour."
Lad, like.
Okay, lads. So I think we'll wrap it up. You can walk your dog, John.
Fuck, it's really late. I will. They deserve a walk.
And thanks again for coming on, man. I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Looking forward to this. Has been a nice build up to it. It's helped with the nerves as well. So thank you all very much. And once again, thanks for the service you do for Irish metal, all 3 of you. This is like a really cool podcast, and I enjoy it. Yeah. So
thank you. We'll take that.
Definitely.
So Danielle, enjoy Italy in case I don't see you.
Yeah, fuck you, Danielle.
I'll make an appearance.
Throws it up
don't
and
worry.
he smashes it.
I'll make some fun of appearance. Don't worry.
Fuck you, Danielle.
End on a positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Played a shitload of bands tonight. Thanks to everybody for tuning in and all the comments. It's great hearing from everybody. And again, John, looking forward to it immensely, and fair play to you. And thanks to Kieran as well and all your team in the background that don't get mentioned.
Kieran, Liam, they've been watching, listening.
Yeah.
So thanks to them, and to Neil, Mick, Valerie, Sarah, Kat, Kieran. Oh God, if I missed somebody now. Shane, Kira, that's Evan's friend. Who else do we have? There's definitely more. Why did I start? Nick. I said Nick. Oh, John, Ken Coleman, Roz for doing the artwork. Oh, look, it's not fucking Oscar speak. Goodbye.
Okay, that's it. Adios, everybody.
Bye.